Get rich and see a coffin. Mama told me get that money and invest it, but I didn't listen. I was spending it reckless. Fuck that, my money gotta bounce back. He paid me for my money, got his family whack. I need it like a chopper, I be moving fast. I'm barely getting to see what you know about that.
Yo, Buck City Reloaded. Buck City Reloaded. Go on and hit that like button, double tap that screen. Let's get it going. Dr. Cheyenne Bryant today. We got Dr. Cheyenne Bryant today. We're going to be dissecting this Breakfast Club interview and hopefully keeping it 100. You know, I'm not trying to get too on her helmet. You know, a lot of these women, they need help. I think it's all a grift. You know, we got this YouTube shit. Anybody can just get on here and say anything. And, you know, as long as you got some followers, you know, it's got to be some truth to what you're saying, basically, in this new age. I'm learning, y'all. I'm learning about this new age. So go ahead and hit that like and subscribe to the channel, you know, and we're going to get into this Breakfast Club interview.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Just Hilarious, Charlemagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Lauren LaRose is here as well. We got a special guest in the building. We have Dr. Cheyenne Bryant.
Hey,
welcome.
Good morning.
Dickie Foster, my brother, salute. What's that? BR Plebo in the building, salute. Jesse Adams in the building, salute, my brother. Salute, everybody.
How are you? Club?
You are one of the people in the mental health space who's really using social media right, right? Like, you know, because you've used it to, you know, elevate your platform and just elevate the conversation around mental health. So I applaud you on that.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I always say I didn't get into this field to become a celebrity, but God has his own plans, right? So I literally in my master's and my doctorate program, I remember my professor saying, everyone who's going to get licensed, raise your hand. I didn't raise my hand. Everybody else did. And he's like, Doc, you going, you know, was Cheyenne at that time. You going through all this to not get licensed? I'm like, no, because I'm gonna be on a platform where I'm able to change.
Why would you? Well, that's a red flag, man. I know I got all the red flags up on the joint. You know what I'm saying? That is a red flag, honey. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man. Like, you're gonna get all this schooling and everything, you're not going to get certified? Like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Lives didn't think that it ended up being a platform where to this magnitude one, and then to the place where literally I didn't want it, the whole celebrity status and lifestyle. And not that I'm saying I don't want it now and I don't like it, it's just this is not where I expected it to go. But again, if God needs to use a celebrityness, and I said it at your mental health, a mental wealth expo, you know, whether the celebrity status brings me the naysayers or the sayers, whatever it brings, as long as they can get a tip or two that gives them a better quality of life and helps them become better mentally, okay, run the play. I'm cool with it. It is what it is.
How does that impact, though? Like, you do work in mental health, but there's a lot of, like, the naysayers are so loud. How does that impact you mental health wise, and like what's your work through? Because it's there. Especially with that, when the Kim interview came out, people were upset about it. Some people agree, but you know, how do you, as a person in that space, deal with all of that pushback?
This is the thing, sis. I grew up a little girl in the inner city in the hood. I grew up to two teenage parents. My mom was addicted to the drug that my father sold.
Okay, so, you know, here we go. The Victim Olympics. Although we know we all had, you know, somebody in the family, most of us, struggle with something, alcoholism, something, right? But here we go with this Victim Olympics shit. Come on, y'all. Hit that like button. Double tap that screen. Let's get it going.
I'm a product of a street dude, a straight gangster who turned into being a good family man. And my mom is now sober, for the record. And so I say all that to say that when you grow up in a certain type of adversity, loud noise that's against the grain of what you're doing,
and don't even
it's not loud noise. You know, it's a norm. And that's why, you know, the Bible says it's good for me that I was afflicted. Because when you have those afflictions, they are preparing you for a time like this,
Right.
that you have to stand in a leadership role. And leadership comes with pressure. It comes with commitment. It comes with character. And so when you have naysayers who are applying pressure, then that's when you show if you a pipe or if you're a diamond. But I already knew from the trenches that I was a diamond. So I wasn't worried about
them trenches. I'm telling you, man, look, I'm starting to like this woman, man, but some of the shit she's talking is ridiculous, man. She's 40 something years old. She's quitted on 4 engagements, no kids, red flag. I'm sorry.
coming into this space with somebody having a problem with what I'm doing, and I'm in my intent, I'm in my purpose, and I'm vertical in who I am. It don't matter to me.
Oh,
I'm
you're
running my
vertical
own
in
play.
who you are.
So I'm not sitting up there as a quarterback being Brady waiting for a Moss.
Right.
I'm good.
I ain't heavy, sis.
I'm
Yes.
good.
I'm gonna make all my
I
receivers
start
better.
early.
Okay, let's put somebody out there. We gonna win.
Put someone out there. That's just what it is, you know? So when you're
See.
vertical in who you are, you're not really worried about what is going to show up to catch the catch. You know, your job is to throw, and then the receiver's job is to do what? To catch. And so the quarterback don't throw and go, Jess, catch. You better do it. Jess, hands up. The quarterback throws, and he like, all right, I know I did it 10 up and slant over. And that's it. And it's a celebration if you're in there. If not, we run the play back again until we do it. And that's what life's about.
Now you talked about your calling. So when it comes to your calling, what is your calling? What do you specialize in? Is it relationships? Is it dealing with people's problems? Is it just listening? What?
I like how the Breakfast Club, they kept it 1,000, man, on this one, man. They if you saw this interview, some of the looks Charlamagne was giving her, and I ain't, these guys aren't my favorite guys, but sometimes they get the interview right. I'm kind of tired of watching these interviews and people get people on the hot seat and they really don't ask those hard to, you know, those you know what I'm talking about, those questions. We want those questions. Ray Midnight in the building. What up, brother? Ray Midnight.
What is your specialty when it comes to it, and what's your calling?
I love that. So I started off as a marriage, family, and child therapist. And I tell God, I said, listen, I'm a little girl from the hood. You know what I come from. Don't put me in the hood, and don't put me with you know, court order DCF kids. Not that I had a problem with them. I didn't want to be triggered dealing with them. And I didn't want to have to deal with what I came from. I wasn't in the system, but I came from that type of adversity. And the first place God put me was off of Hardale and Slauson. I don't know if y'all familiar with LA, but a block away from Slauson Swap Meet in the hood. And every one of my clients were court order, DCFS, Department of Family and Child Services. We had moms in there who were pregnant.
I'm glad they put her in the trenches. You know, you from the trenches. You need to be trying to help out the trenches, right? You know, those kids at the Slauson Swap Meet, they definitely probably need your help. But you got to give them that real information, man. You can't give them this scorn woman shit, man. Okay? You can't get with the man that you want. You didn't want to settle. I know there's guys in the chat that, you know, they'll tell you, you know, you got a little bag and shit. You know, you probably got a little G-Wagon and shit, you know, couple Audis and shit. You know, like, a motherfucker would love to suck off the benefits. Yeah, nah. Yeah. Nah, straight up, man. That Corey Holcomb, I'm gonna get into that Corey Holcomb, her, you know, they going back and forth. And I didn't really want to go in on it too much because when I finally did my research, I saw that it was a little bit deeper than you know, just surface level, but just some of the things that she said to him. And you're supposed to be a therapist. You're you know, you're social working and you're doing all of this shit, but you're saying some shit that could possibly fuck up a motherfucker's mental. Like she's real brutal with her shit, and I would bet that her failed relationships was a result of her fucking mouth that she probably can't keep shut. I'm sorry. You know, a woman's fucking mouth. Sometimes a woman will say some stupid shit that will fuck her up for all potential prospects. You know, Ray, man, I ain't lying, dog. Come on, man. Look, I'm in my own space. I'm not. Nobody has a pistol to my head making me say this shit. This is from me analyzing life for 40 plus years. Okay. And just calling it for what it is. No, we're not against women. We're not, you know, but when you've seen enough buffoonery going on, and then you see people just trying to add to it. At some point, this is what they give us these platforms for, man. This is where they give you this. You know, this is that platform. I'm gonna call it like I see it. And if next week, if she says something that's dead on, like a couple of her shorts be dead on, she got some nice little shit that she tries to do, but it seems like a grift. As a woman, she doesn't look like a woman like that. Like, she doesn't give off that womanly vibe. I think a woman that waits and doesn't have kids and just elects not to have kids, that's a different type of creature in my eyes. You know, I don't want to get in trouble saying this type of shit, but hey, you know, if you don't have those motherly instincts, this is a dog channel, so let's talk about dogs. You know, if they don't have those traits, if they don't have, you know, those desired traits that everybody wants, and that's attractiveness is nice, but just that nurturing, motherly, and then that child grows up, and you definitely got to give her a lot of the credit for it educationally and all of that. So hey man, look, I see the raccoon eye. You're getting tired, boo. You should maybe tell women to settle down maybe before they're 25 or 27 or something like that. I think that's a decent time for a woman. 20, 24, if you're not going to do the 2021, if you're not going to do it the Kevin Samuels way, right? Then at least settle down at 25, 26, man. You don't want to be out there just a raccoon running around, bro. You don't want to be a cougar or a raccoon running around with the raccoon eyes trying to find a man, because it looks suspect. It does to us, because we're like, God damn, like a dude, we could have all these flaws and shit, right? Bullet holes, like we could have them flaws. A woman, that's a little different, man. We don't want you to be looking burnt the fuck out, man. Like, you didn't save nothing left for nobody else, man. It's all about yourself. And then when you get a man, somebody that's a good guy that can look past the flaws and the receding hairline, we always get flack about the receding hairlines. The women never get flack about receding hairlines, dog. That's no fair. Women never get flack about receding hairlines. Oh shit. Look, man, double tap the screen. Let's get this stream up. I see YouTube like to play their little fuck games. So you guys gonna have to support and just double tap the screen if you're watching from a cellular device. Okay. This is the real channel. We got the real content. You feel me? Let's get back into Cheyenne. Cheyenne, I didn't want to dig into you too much, but you're toxic. You know, you're like the auntie, the rich auntie that comes through on Christmas. You know, she always got gifts. If you guys do the little thing where you put all the names in the hat and everybody pick a name, like, okay, this is who you got for, or you got your brother or you got your cousin or something. You know, when a motherfucker get her, they happy because they're gonna get something nice. But you didn't raise no family, so all of that shit, we don't want to hear that shit. All this enthusiasm and shit that you got, and you don't even got to raise no kids. Like, I don't want to hear it, man. You're teaching people how to manage their life, and you don't even have a life to manage. Make it make sense.
Still hitting the pipe. Asking me, can I sign off on the documents so they can get the kids back? Because I was predicated on their reunification with their kids. And so started off as doing that. When I got my doctorate, I transitioned to a psychology expert, life coach, so that my hands wouldn't be tied behind my back. Because when I was a therapist working for a nonprofit under a license, the protocol just with the BBS law, and you're very familiar with like mental health and therapy, there's so many things that you cannot do based on ethics and law that, in my opinion, it negates and it really takes away from the real therapeutic experience. So, for example, I had a young lady come in and she had experienced sexual abuse. Her mother was allowing men to pay her to have sex with her daughter at 13, from age all the way from age 8 to 16. The last time the guy came in, he put her on the burners and the stove burners and had his way with her.
Wow.
For that young lady, thank God, that was the last straw for her. So she ends up in my office. And we're talking, and she's telling me her story, and I'm starting to become triggered because it's triggered my sexual abuse past. And so, long story short, after one of our sessions, I get up, and she's in tears, and she's telling her story, and I go to hug.
So if you triggered, like, how can you give people help? Let me let her go, man. It don't make sense, bro.
And she's like, no, don't touch me, because that's not something that she's in a place to handle at that time. No problem. 8 months go by. She's like, she has to then be transferred out. She's like, all right, I wasn't Dr. Bryant, then I was Cheyenne. She's like, Miss Cheyenne, thank you for everything. I'm like, okay. And she goes, oh, by the way, I'm ready for that hug. Everything in me, DJ Envy was just like, everything was just like,
Yeah.
And so not only did I hug her, but I think I broke the BBS laws, because I hugged that poor baby. I kissed all over her.
Yeah.
But you're not supposed to do that.
So you're still human.
You're not, but you're still human. And so my specialty then was marriage, family, and child therapy.
Okay.
So that is my foundation. So now that I am a psychology expert, life coach, I can't get rid of that, because that's my foundation.
See, and this is what Kevin Samuels talked about. He talked about the PhD and all of this stuff. And a woman will pick her career over raising a family and acquiescing to what you want her to do, being a helpmate in the family, educating, teaching the kid how to read and write, tie their shoes, potty training, things like that. Generating another version of you to be out here and be a productive person in society, right? There's not enough people doing that. It seems like all the bad people, they're having all the kids, so-called bad people, right? And then all these upstanding, smart, witty child experts and developments and all this shit, they don't want to have no fucking kids because they're too caught up in their fucking all this bullshit. And then when you get to the end of the road, now you get bitter. This is when the bitterness sets in, because the fulfillment of getting all that money, you're just not getting no fulfillment. No man wants you. All of the guys that you used to date, they've moved on and had kids and shit. They posting on their stories and shit. They kids hitting 3-pointers and shit, right? Graduating, throwing cap and gowns in the sky, barbecues with kids and gender reveals and shit. all of this good, healthy shit that you do in relationships. And yeah, you could cuss out the guy at the dealership because they fucked up your shit and you're paying all this goddamn money. You're going to eat at these restaurants that you're paying all this fucking money, and the motherfucker that's cooking took a shit and didn't even wipe his motherfucking hands. Okay? Let's break it all the way down, right? This so-called elegant lifestyle that you choose over raising a child, another human being that could possibly grow up and be better off than you, enjoy life the right way. Right? So I don't know. It might be a little selfish. It's a lot of selfishness going on, I think.
I do psychodynamic CBT, but I couple it, which is my hybrid approach, with coaching. So it's therapy and coaching, which is hybrid. And I say this with all humility. That's why I'm so effective. Because therapy is tell me more. Let me hear about your trauma, your daddy issues, your mom issues. Why are you who you are? And then once you're finished dealing with that and you process that, okay, DJ Envy, where the hell you going from there?
I do have one other question when it comes to the therapy aspect. I'm sure the world has been watching the Mendes brothers, right? And I had a question, right? Yeah. So the Mendes brothers, if you don't know, they confessed their crime to the therapist. And they believed that the therapist could not tell police officers because it was, I guess, patient-client privilege. But they did. So does that mean anything that I tell a therapist or that anybody tells a therapist can possibly be used against them in the court of law?
100%. So a therapist is only under confidential oath unless you are threatening to kill yourself and someone else. And it can't just be a threat. It has to be you actually have like a action plan to do so, right? You can't just come to me and say, hey, doc, look, I want to kill myself. I will help you process through that and hopefully talk you off the ledge.
Okay.
But if you say, I got a plan at 9 p.m., I'm leaving the house, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z to my wife, then I have a duty to report. If I'm subpoenaed to court, I have to speak on that.
Now, if I did a crime and I'm talking to you about the crime because it's eating me up, you're not supposed to tell law enforcement? So if I already killed somebody, already did the crime already?
No.
Even if it's a murder?
Only unless that therapist is subpoenaed. Or that
got you.
medical
so the fact that he was subpoenaed.
That's it. When it comes to subpoena in the court and the justice system, their law oversees everything. It just does. When it comes to your confidentiality as client privilege, there's nothing that I can say outside.
Okay.
Can you reach out to the court and say, subpoena me? I need to be subpoenaed.
I personally would never do that just because I believe in following the oath of, and maybe I just love and respect my clients too much. But if you came to me and said something, I'm just not. And I know this is smaller than murder, but I've had married couples who come separately and together. And the husband is just lighting it up in his individual session. I'm cheating. I'm intimate with this person and that person. His family members is this, and I'm having to just make sure I process my countertransference because I'm sitting there like, I have her in 1 hour.
You can't say nothing.
I have her in one. in one.
So now you know that the it's bullshit. It's all bullshit. Okay, figure it out yourself. It's your relationship, not some goddamn shrinks. Right?
God.
Now, of course, if it was like my girlfriend, I'd be like, bitch.
But you wouldn't take your girlfriend's though, right? Because it's in
No, she'll violate the shit. Just like she said she wouldn't, the hug on the kid, and she's not supposed to do that, but she still did it. Now she don't follow the rules. Following the rules is not in her vocabulary. It's not, That's just the way it is.
My best friend couldn't be. That's a conflict. Yeah, she could never come to me as a psychology expert in that. But I'd be ripping into him.
Talk to me from the human perspective, because you still a real nigga at the end of the day. Right? So when you hear stuff like that, when you hear the guy come in 1 hour and he doing X, Y, and Z, then the woman comes in the next hour, what is going through your mind about the dude?
See, Charlamagne, my clients are watching this interview.
Red flags, red flizzags. And they know. It's like, oh yeah, so you just gonna go up in there. You got her in an hour, and then we probably do the session together. And it's a big ass grip. These are red flags that I'm talking about. Okay. We got one on her nose, Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer. One on her nose. She got a very shiny nose. Come on, man. There's a reason why these guys left her, man. You don't get in 4 engagements and call them off and shit. And she talked about the man that she was with, like, because they asked about it. They dug in and really wanted to find out, what was going on in this woman's relationship. And she crucified this guy, her ex-boyfriend, crucified him. No man deserves that. Like, keep his relationship within, she talked about the man being lazy. I mean, it was ridiculous. I said, wow, no guy's never enough for her, no guy's never enough, our expectations, like, come on, can we be realistic about this shit? And then when you popping up with the raccoon eyes with the receding hairline and shit, you know what I'm saying? Looking all with the eyebrows all dead and shit, bro. Come on. Come on now. You guys talk your shit. You need a guy, I seen a girl receding hairline like a motherfucker. Dude shit was cut bald. It was clean though. It was decent, right? She was like, nah, I can't do it. You know what I'm saying? I need a man with a hairline and, all of this on the balloon pop shit, And I'm looking at this chick like, wait a minute, your shit, you could put your whole hand on your forehead, bitch. I could put my shit on your shit. And you'll still have room. I got some big ass hands, man. Look, I ain't trying to clown too hard, but look, don't. And she ripped Corey Holcomb a new asshole. Allegedly. What? No Diddy. Oh, pause. Shit is getting goofier and goofier every single day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just here to tell you.
My client's gonna be like, Doc, that's what you really feel. But in my mind, honestly, what I try to do, and some of my clients have followed this guidance. I have one client now. He's married, and the wife is attempting to divorce him, and she's divorcing him because he cheated. But she doesn't have any hard facts on him. So I've actually been able to process with him whether you're gonna be with this woman or not. If you want to be with her or you want to be able to leave and do better, at some point you got to be able to be real with yourself and real with her, and you got to be transparent. When do you plan on doing that? So he just literally this week or last week, because this week he told me, Doc, I sat with her and I told her that it's been, a few times that I did cheat. And I said, how did she respond? She said, now we can have a conversation because now you're keeping it real. And when I had her and said,
and now she could come out and tell all the niggas that she fucked. Holy shit, man. Look, if it gets to this point that you need therapy and shit, bro, I'm not gonna say it's not worth doing, but make sure it is, because you're gonna go down a whole fucking rabbit hole and you're gonna be stuck in that fucking relationship, man, when your ass should have just got the fuck out because it was bad. They're never gonna forgive you for the shit that you did, man. I think there's such a thing as just ruining a relationship. There is. It'll take you forever to, like, you can have 5 or 6 relationships before she fucking forgive you for some of this shit, dog. You gotta understand that. You know, sometimes you just got to end that shit, man. She might respect you more. Like, damn, he really just ended that shit. Next time she'll think twice about fucking doing some dumb shit.
Session, I said, listen,
triggered,
right?
Yeah.
Oh shit. But I told her, I said, look, you have two options. I said, either, you know, I can, if you're willing to learn to love a dog, we can start that process, because, you know, or we can start the process of you leaving and starting over. And she goes, what do you mean by a dog? She said, but we've been together for 10 years. He's never cheated the first time. I said, no, baby. I said, he's been quiet for 10 years. He decided to bark on year number 10.
Jesus Christ.
So you don't think that he could change in that marriage and not?
Oh, he decided to bark at year number 10. You see this shit? Men, listen, they're closing in on you. You know, they got devices. She could put a tracking device on your car. Go ahead and log in and get the device that you could put on your phone, and it can detect tracking devices and shit. You know, if you don't think you're being tracked, bro, you know, it's real easy to do. Real easy to do, man. B&B in the building. What up, brother? You're rocking the building. What up, brother? Oatman in the building. Crockett in the building. What up, brother? All the dog men in the house. Hey, double tap the screen. Double tap the screen. Hey, nah, for real though. Listen, dog, she's cold with it, dog. Oh, he barked at year number 10. So he was just quiet with it. In that year 10, you know, this motherfucker barked. I don't want her in my fucking business. You're not about to know shit about me. Because she's gonna be triggered because she's been through a lot of this shit. I'm not going to no therapist. Fuck that. Because look at all the baggage and red flags that this woman has. And you're going to pay her to analyze your relationship. You're just paying somebody to destroy your fucking relationship. Allegedly, you know. Because she seems very petty. Very fucking petty, dog. And my broke ass should turn my life upside down. Leave me the fuck alone, Cheyenne. Leave me the goddamn alone.
Cheat anymore?
First of all, nobody changes, including me. We shift, and that changes our life. And when I say we shift out of the things and behaviors that don't serve us after we learn. They're not working.
Gotcha.
And then we have to learn to manage those.
Gotcha.
So I am very firecrackery. When I was younger, I was very temperamental. I was very, you know, who the fuck you talking to real quick. I just, because of my trauma, because of things, I just had a very protective, by all means necessary. I'm the oldest of 7. So I was, you know, I light this place up. Is that still in me after all of my healing? Hell yeah. Do I manage it? Absolutely. Managing it just means that I'm high function. I'm able to regulate my emotions, right? Identify my.
This high function shit, like, she didn't want to do the high value. She couldn't come with that grift because that would have been too much like Kevin Samuels. You don't want to give that man his props, right? And he probably brought all you motherfuckers out. I wonder if she was talking about high functioning before Kevin Samuels came out. I doubt it. If anybody can find some clips on Dr. Cheyenne Bryant talking about some high functioning shit before Kevin Samuels came out, I'll cash app you $20. Fuck it. How's that? I'm a broke guy. You feel me? So let's get that going. That's a red flag, man. All this high functioning shit. Nah, man. Raise a family. Function in that. Like, if you're not high, how are you high functioning? You don't even have kids. You're not functioning.
Fell off and I can't. Tried to fall in love a few times, but that didn't work. Yeah. They never stuck around to see my worth. My mama been knew I was special since birth. Yeah. You say you love me, but you know love gets you hurt. Yeah. I can't let you bitches play with my heart. This ain't funny like Kevin. You'll have better luck in a casino betting. Girl, don't say that shit, you lying. I got trust issues, ain't no need in trying. I fell out with the plug because it's timing. Don't try to love me now, girl, stop all that crying. You trying to show me that because I'm leaving. Yeah. Don't try to cause a scene now, bitch, we even. For real. Fuck, I should've listened and took my daddy's advice. Now I got 2 baby mamas and none of them had a relationship right. Hella shit going left, so I know that it gotta get right. Cause at the rate that I'm going, I'm never gonna give me a wife. But until then, I'm living my life.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I had to go get the Zag. I had to run all the way to the car to get the Zags, man. Look, because I just can't do this without a fucking blunt, because this shit, all these red flags, bro.
Emotions, don't get into my feelings, because emotions are healthy. Feelings cause problems. Right. And I can just say, okay, identify that I'm angry, I'm frustrated, so now let me choose my response. Before, I was low functioning. Once I felt it, I was triggered. And everybody in here was going to know, and it was going to be a problem. Mm-hmm. So does that still come up? Yeah. But do I have self-talk that says, we're not doing that?
So you don't think people can change? You just feel like they change?
We manage ourselves well. We manage ourselves well. So a man who...
So you can't change, you're damaged. You're damaged. And that, as far as dating me, you're 40. You ain't gave no kids. Hey, man, look. They're going to think I'm a male chauvinist. That's what they think. But we got to have a preference. There's a certain way that we want shit done. Families got to be built, communities, better people. That's what's going to make the world better, not if we're on a decline. No, nothing can stop or start tomorrow, right? It's just not going to change that fast. But we got to have good people creating more good people, to help populate the earth with good. Not bullshit, not trying to teach women that it's okay to be 40 years old and single and blow through 4 divorces. 4 engagements. Wow. Like, how do you get engaged 4 times? Like, to me, that's a lot of fucking. That's a lot of fucking, man. That's a lot of mileage on this woman, I'm just keeping it 1,000. Like 4 engagements. Damn. Like, even 1 engagement, like, that guy, you had to go through a bunch of guys to get engaged. Seemingly. If we're looking at it like that, it ain't like you just the first guy you talk to, you just engaged to him. Probably not. Especially you're on here for clout. You're going on Cam Newton's joint. You're talking shit about Corey Holcomb. Like you're shooting for the big dogs. I'm a little dog. You ain't gonna come after me. I light that ass up. Go ahead. See, I know I ain't shit. Hey, go after me. Get her in the building. I got the link. I think some of this shit that she does in women like this that promote the culture of a woman just do anything she wants And then when she gets fucking lonely and crying in a room by herself, and you know, because no man wants her, and it's a result of you trying to follow other miserable, disgruntled women, that's that's a problem. That's a problem. I tell the homies, like, if you gonna go to jail, do 20 fucking years for a motherfucking hood, you in a beef fighting over some shit that happened 20 years ago, and you a dummy. You a dumb, stupid motherfucker, right? It's the same thing, bro. You're getting the same result. You're swimming to one side of the fish tank. Oh, this looks new. You swim to the other side of the fish tank. Oh, this looks new. Nah, it's not new, motherfucker. You doing the same shit over and over. Failed relationship after failed relationship. Because men have become status symbols. It's not that I'm a good guy or that I love you or that I'll, raise some pretty decent kids, that can help out and shit. It's not because of that anymore. It's, I got to date somebody that's better than her husband. She dated a plumber. I need to date a accountant. She dated an accountant. I need to date a doctor. That shit. That's what they're doing, bro. Okay? That's why men, we just take that, okay, that's how you guys want to play role, because that's what we do. We sit back and just say, okay, that's how you want to play. We'll just lie to your ass. Hey, man, I done seen some niggas, man. I'm telling you, man, they done had some bad ones. Bad ones. You're like, damn, how did he get hurt? Like, how the fuck? Hey, man, that motherfucker was lying the whole time. He got what he want. He out of there, man. Because that's how y'all want to play. You're not about getting to know anybody anymore. I don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck who you are. If you don't have a certain status, if you don't have a certain car, if you don't live in a certain area, they're not fucking with you, dog. You need to know that as a man. They're not. And yeah, every now and then you get on. We still get on though. Don't get it twisted. We still get on, but you need to understand this. I'm not saying don't shoot your shot. You should always shoot your shot. You should have the confidence to get the woman that you want. That's what it is. You can't get these other women because they're low-hanging fruit, because you spent your whole life afraid to talk to the woman that you really want, right? Don't do that. And if you do, and then don't get on here complaining. That's what these spaces have turned into. It's a bunch of guys that did not have the confidence to go after the woman that they want. So instead, they get low-hanging fruit. And then they're mad at all the women that they didn't have confidence to talk to. Don't do that. Call it like it is. and be neutral. We don't need to get on either side. If she says something that's quality, that's good, which I don't think a woman in her state, she probably can't even cook. She done spent so much time doing paperwork, doing all of this shit for your job, whatever company you work for, if you work for yourself. And she says she wants kids. I'm not saying you can't have them at 40, 42, or however old she is. I'm not saying that she totally missed the ball, but what if you want 4 children? What if you're a guy of the caliber that she's looking for? Right? Because she's not fucking with just any old Tom and Jerry, bro. She not, you know, like you pull up in one of them Hellcat or something, like she ain't fucking with that. You got to pull up in some shit to fuck with her, man, according to her. You know, the little head, the Charger, the regular little SRT, you know, you got that. Yeah, I mean, she not fucking with that. You know, you got the little S550 that everybody got now. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not going to cut it either. They superficial.
Who's a womanizer? He's always a womanizer. It's just how well can he discipline or manage his womanizing appetite, his womanizing actions, his womanizing desires? Can he manage his environment? Can he be in a room full of women and not womanize, and not cheat, and not step out, and not have infidelity issues? We like what we like. We are who we are.
So you would never date a man that cheated before because you feel like he will always be a cheater? Is that what you're saying?
I think that's also circumstantial. So I do believe that different relationships bring out different things in us. I was also an extreme alpha in my first engagement.
Oh, shit. Here we go. A woman talking about being an alpha. Let's hear it.
2 engagements, called off 2 weddings. My first relationship that I was engaged to, I was extreme alpha. So even if he tried to be alpha, I left no space. It was like, hell no, by all means necessary, because I said so, and you can walk. Like,
See, that's why her relationship, and you can walk. So she'll make a man feel expendable.
Chasing my career. I know my value. I'm not fatherless. I got a daddy. He spoils me. Good day.
So even in that, do you feel like that he wasn't man enough for you? Or like, what was that? Do you think that's your fault? Do you look back and be like, I was trying to be the man, not trying to be the man, but I gave him, because you just said you gave no room for him to do it. So do you regret that part of it?
I think that's a do. I think he chose a woman who was alpha because it fed something in him that was beta.
Yeah.
I chose a man who was beta because my alpha needed to be inflamed. But my second engagement, he was alpha. That's why I say.
Okay, so he chose an alpha. Like nothing she said, red flag, number 12. We're on like 12 red flags. I'm going to have to cover up her eyes and everything with fucking red flags, man. You're contradicting yourself. So now you attract a guy that is alpha. He's attracted to an alpha. You know, let's hear it.
It's circumstantial. But not only was he alpha, I had these submissive feels in me already. So by the time we got in a relationship, I was a hybrid by then. I was alpha submissive. So I was cooking. He was daddy. I was soft. I was in my feminine. And the blessing of that is I got.
Now look at if you would have saw her face when she said she was in her feminine. She was disgusted about being in her feminine. She hates being in her feminine. That's the difference. See, we talk about this masculine, feminine shit that these women sitting in her femininity and, you know, all of this shit, the feminine energy. We talk about this shit. And one thing that Kevin Samuel said, he said that you cannot turn it on and off like a light switch. It's either she's feminine or she's not. Don't fuck around. It's either that snake is poisonous or it's not poisonous. Don't be fucking around, y'all. She just contradicted herself. She doesn't want to be feminine. Some people will exercise, but they don't want to exercise. They don't really like the shit. They're just doing it just to do it, and then they want to go back to the way they really are. Seriously. Double tap the screen, throw a dog a bone. It's free. It's free, man. Wake and Bake Show, Buck City Reloaded. You know, let's look for some more red flags. It's like finding Waldo. Finding a green flag will be like finding Waldo. These red flags are everywhere. They're easy to find. You know?
I got to experience both. And I learned that I fell more in love with myself in my softness than he probably did.
Yeah.
Like I was doing shit where I'm like, ooh, girl.
Right.
Like, I was turned on by me. I was like, ooh, sis.
That's me.
Sis.
That's me right now.
Even in the bedroom, things that I was like, no, I'm not. When I was in my alpha, absolutely not.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, can we do that thing again?
Mm-hmm.
That thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to look at y'all married. Can we do that thing again? Like that thing I said
So
I
you
want to do that.
submit more.
Submit.
Yeah.
But
Guys do that too.
But it also, but it also plays a role in the position.
This nigga. What you want to say? What
you doing?
What's that thing? What's that thing?
Nah, I'm not gonna front. When you said that, I kept thinking of this story.
Or what?
No, it was Gilly telling me the story about. Never mind. No, Gilly the King was telling me a story about something that was in Kim Porter's book and how Diddy told Kim Porter to do that thing again. And it was getting pegged in the butt.
Right.
Never mind.
wow.
Right.
I know.
I just knew it was something gay.
Yeah, something in the butt. So you don't feel men.
I'm not
Damn,
answering the
bro.
butt
You
question.
don't think men can change though, like maturity, because a lot of times.
Yeah, I'm
we do
stuck on
things-
that too.
Because a lot of times you stuck in the butt. What?
She's not saying that y'all can't
no,
change.
I was saying because
She's saying-
things sometimes you're immature and you don't know, right? And I think you can grow out of things where you are mature, not just being a womanizer or being insecure. Some of those things you grow out of because you learn differently, and some of the things that you follow is because of society teaches you other than what you should be doing. If you understand what I'm saying.
So
That's right.
when I was a child, I thought as a child. Now that I'm a man, I think as
That's right.
as a
Amen.
man, right?
Correct.
That's what the Bible says. So do I think that we can mature out of things? Yes. But maturity takes work. It takes awareness and sense of self. So how many of us are really getting that if we're in the same environments, the same relationships, or we're dating different people with the same spirit? So the same spirit's going to activate the same things in you. You want different, there has to be a different circumstance, a different activation. I went from a beta to an alpha, and I was receptive to being with an alpha. So that's why I was able to be activated in my feminine. I wouldn't choose.
Nah. Fuck that. A feminine woman, she's going to be feminine no matter what. Even if she's with a beta, she is going to be feminine. You're making excuses. No woman will say, oh, some will, but she won't just say that, oh, I can't be feminine. I can't be, because you're going to meet somebody and try to fool them. It's not an on and off switch. It's who you are. You can't change who you are. I can fake it and all this, fake it. Like I don't be getting up, waking, baking and shit. Nah, man, we're going to embrace that shit. YouTube, let's sign up. Let's get it. We got the Wake and Bake show. Shit, we was going to wake and bake and watch videos anyway. Shit. Be who you are, man. If you drop the ball, teach women how not to drop the ball on relationships and building a family and marriage and shit. If that's what's important to you guys. Don't wait till you're 40 and then try to fucking get married to a guy that a desperate ass dude. You could do it. Maybe he already got kids and shit. You know what I'm saying? I think you said you wouldn't even date a guy with kids.
The beta now, I'd want an alpha man, but I also hold space for an alpha man. You couldn't be with a woman who is high functioning and be a womanizer. She ain't holding space for you. You can prey on a low functioning woman because she holds space, too much space for a low functioning man who wants to prey on her. But if you were to say, you know what, I want to shift up my ways, you would also have to shift and choose a woman who won't tolerate that because she will hold you accountable when you're in a space that don't work for her.
That's right.
Does that make sense? So you can't shift and be in the same environment.
But
it doesn't work like
No, it does. It sounds like a woman that have 4 failed engagements. You've been a fiance 4 times. Now you're going for a Guinness book. What's the Guinness book? I know she's up there. She got to be up there. I never heard of a woman that been engaged 4 different times. That's crazy. That is crazy, man. That's like being married 4 times. Shit. Like, give the fuck up. Are you Jennifer Lopez or some shit? She thinks she's Jennifer Lopez. Jennifer Lopez got this shit cool to do.
Let's say a man is insecure, and he's insecure when he's 16, 17, 18, right? Because he doesn't know the world. Or a man follows the likeness of, for instance, hip-hop, right? Because hip-hop influences so much of us, and a lot of us were grown from it, you know, whether it was what we did, what we spoke about, carrying guns, selling drugs, being a womanizer, whatever that may be.
Men can change.
Men can change.
I feel like what you're saying is true, but I feel like I would say shifts lead to actual change.
That's what I'm saying.
Right, absolutely.
So I'm not saying, listen, we're not Jesus. We're not turning water to wine. I've said that on the Cam Newton episode, and I stand by that. So you're not going to change, Envy. You're not going to switch up and tomorrow be a 6'5" chocolate man.
You don't know what
she had to get the Cam Newton clout. She had to get the Cam Newton clout, man. Give me a second, because I can't. Now, I don't want to miss none of this shit. I can't.
Shots, then we bouncing out. Ay, chop a dish or 2, I chop them out. Ay, we be popping out. Ay, get your ass whacked for what you talking about. Shoot shots, then we bouncing out. Ay, chop a dish or 2, I chop them out. Ay, we be popping out. Ay, get your ass whacked for what you talking about. Niggas talking like they drillin', but I know they ain't. No stripes in the damn hood, you ain't never ring. Fuck a beach treaty, I ain't never tryna moderate. I be starving for this beef shit like I ain't never ate. I know you don't want this, cause I've been navigating through these streets, don't need no compass. On some dumb shit, put a 4 a bit of sun kiss. Bullets hit your back, couple inches from your bows this. Had to switch it up, you gon' need help. Had an ambulance come pick you up, you ain't seen this. Fast like Uber, how I'm pulling up, and I ain't talking. An empty tank when I come and fill you up. Shoot shots, then we bouncing out. Ay, chop a dish or 2, I chop them out. Ay, we be popping out. Ay, get your ass whacked for what you talking about. Shoot shots, then we bouncing out. Ay, chop a dish or 2, I chop them out. Ay, we be popping out. Ay, get your ass whacked for what you talking about.
Get your ass whacked for what you talk about. White, chalk 'em out. 4-4 bulldog, get me barking out. Blow out your eardrum. Why you want to smoke, you real dumb. You wanna feel something, then take these shots, nigga. I'll kill something. We in the field hunting for them ops about to drill something. I got a little something. Set my gun connect, that's real money. My nigga crash dummy, he never hesitate to blast for me. And all my hoes work, and they don't hesitate to get cash to me. That's what they're supposed to do. I run with the chosen few. Big guns when we popping out, and we got the exposure crew. No doubt, white chalk a nigga out. Should've put house, shoot your spouse, brain matter on the couch. Shoot shots, then we bouncing out. Ay, chop a dish or two, I chop them out. Ay, we be popping out. Ay, get your ass whacked for what you talking about. Shoot shots, then we bouncing out. Ay, chop a dish or two, I chop them out. Ay, we be popping out. Ay, get your ass whacked for what you talking about.
That part.
What I identify as.
Listen, I'm self-projected because that's what I'm attracted to. But I'm back. But can you shift?
Come on, Grant, what up, brother? Petty Rob, what up?
Your world.
I agree.
You don't change. You shift.
Hi, Smith, what up?
So what happens is that insecure boy grows up to be a man who shifts things in him, and his environment changes. And so does he feel his insecurity inflame way less? Absolutely. But will there be moments where your little boy arises in you because you're triggered? That's life. And when that happens, if it's a year or once every 5 years, you have to have the effective tools to manage that little boy, or he will sabotage, or he will go cheat. And that's how you say he ain't cheated in 10 years. But he barked on your number 10.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. The way it was worked the first time, I was like, I think men can change, but I get what you said.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, people can shift, and that creates a change. But we don't wake up and we're like, psh, we're totally different.
So the interview with Cam, and also I saw that you sat down with Nick. Did the firecracker in you be like, I need to sit down with them? How did you get them in the room?
Okay.
How did you do those 2 interviews? Did they reach out to you, or did you reach out to them?
So Nick reached out to me and said, Doc, what's up? Like, I want to work through some things, but I want to work through it on camera. And I said, okay, no problem, but I'm going to penetrate. So we're not doing this on
that's right,
camera.
penetrate.
These crazy words.
The things that trigger you is crazy.
So when you
Trigger him.
So he liked penetration.
Nick,
Do that little thing you do.
Actually, it's funny because Nick always goes, Doc, do you have to use that word? I'm like, yeah, I am. I'm penetrating you at the space that obviously is broken.
Yeah.
And that's dysfunctional and toxic.
So when you say,
I'm sorry.
You need to grow up too.
Wait, see,
You
men,
need to grow up too.
see, men just don't change.
no, like you to your
Look at
point.
They
To
give
your
you a
point.
12-year-old girl right now.
The little boy in them
The little boy.
is definitely present. Definitely.
So when he says, all right, I need to work through some things, you're like, okay, on camera. Does that then in your mind say, is this for real, or do you want to appeal to a certain market, to a certain audience?
I love that.
You know what I'm saying? Because, we're in the times now where everything has to be recorded, or it didn't happen, or, that's just how people look or how people feel. But what does that make it a little phony to you?
So,
because I couldn't find another word other than phony. But
great observation. I didn't look at it like that because I look at it like I have a job to do and a purpose to serve. So whether we have 1 camera or 10, you're going to get this work.
Yeah.
And so they may have done it, and I'm not saying they did. They may have done it from an entertainment perspective, but as we see, more than entertainment came out of it.
Yeah.
Because your intention will always be what ends up being the end result for you. And so my intent was to use Nick's situation and
Nah, that's another red flag. Another red flag, man. Your intention, you can intend to destroy something, but the result is not gonna be that. So I think she just needs to slow down. She's talking too much.
and shift a whole culture of Black men. Saying what can, and it happened. There were a lot of naysayers, but a lot of Black men were actually in there creating the viralness and saying, listen, Doc is right. We need to create more husbands and less baby daddies. Black men were like, I'm 26. I got 3 kids by 3 different women. And she's right. This ain't it, man.
Yeah.
We got to do different. That was my intent. And my intent is what manifested. So, and Nick as well. Cam was resistant, but Cam had to answer a lot of questions in his household. Cam had a lot of stuff. He had a lot of different conversations he had to have with that woman. Whether she wants to come out on social media and wear the mask she's been wearing, that mask is off at home.
Yeah.
Cam had to answer questions. That created a lot of conflict. Conflict is needed for resolve and for shift and change. And so, yeah, entertainment or not, I wanted to make sure that what happened, that the conversation is now being had everywhere, that it is time for our community to do things differently. And if you
Right, and not be 40-something years old with no fucking kids and no man. Like, I think, could we start there? Could we stop thinking that we're hot girl summers and thinking that men are a status symbol and, you know, all of this shit, right? Can we do that? Can we get to know a guy and see if he's a good guy instead of worried about how much money he fucking makes? Because you're gonna lose every time. Some dudes are just lace. We come from a different cloth, man, and we're lace. We don't go for that. You're not gonna get over on me, even if I'm in a relationship with you. You're not gonna get over on me. I'm gonna get what I want out of this fucking relationship, and then everything else, man. Look, if you want to crash and burn and crash out and shit, go ahead, man. Do you? It only bothers me if I give a fuck. Not giving a fuck don't cost nothing, bro. Nothing. Not giving a fuck is the best peace of mind you can have. Can't get to you. It's an emotional battle, psychological battle. That's what a woman tries to do. So if you don't give a fuck and you just let her crash out, you win every time, man. I'm telling you, you win every time.
You have already created broken houses and homes. You're not doomed, but you need to stop. It's a time to stop. Like, we're not here to create broken houses, and now you're projecting your daddy issues and mommy issues as a man onto an entire generation that has to now grow up to figure out what the hell is the root of their issue and how do they not sabotage and how do they do this thing differently.
Yeah, I saw Cam say. Cam said that it affected his relationship with his first two baby moms and his current situation. So you feel any remorse for that? Or?
No. Yeah, because I'm here to interrupt that pattern. No. Yeah. Like, the shit should have been interrupted a long time ago. Yeah. You know, Cam, and you come from, and not that this breeds, good decision-making people, but Cam comes from, he's a pastor's child. He comes from two parents that are still married, and they're pastors, very much involved with the church. That goes to show you, like the Bible said, it was good for me that I was afflicted, because you got people who come from brokenness. This is why I said these kids are not doomed, who make different decisions, because it's not about a lot of times it's not where you go and they get you where you going. It's where you trying to get the hell away from. Right. Yeah. And a lot of times parents, like I was telling Ray J this. Ray J is my client as well. Jesus. And I was telling Ray, I said, Ray, I love your parents, but they showed you everything to do right. They didn't show you what not to do. And see, for me, I had a circumstance, an environment that showed me everything not to do. Right. So sometimes knowing what not to do saves you from doing the wrong shit. It's not about having a perfect household. It's about having a blended, balanced household that says, listen, this is what you can do to get you this. This is what you shouldn't do. And when you come from a lot of pastor kids and these folks who come in from these really perfect households or perfect marriages that have a lot of infidelity, a lot of brokenness in them, these kids learn how to mask their life as well. And they learn how to overcompensate for what they're missing in broken houses, in womanizing or manizing ways. And that becomes an issue. And then it just becomes a dysfunctional pattern where they keep creating this. They get comfortable in dysfunction and say, I'm thriving here. No, you're not. You've learned to survive. And you're teaching everybody else who you are, creating or procreating how to survive.
Go ahead.
I was just going to ask, how do you deal with your other clients if you have Ray J?
Who do you talk to after you talk to Ray J? Do you have a therapist? I hope you do.
I do. Oh, yeah, I definitely do. I have that. I have wise counsel. I have a nice group.
This sounds like a debacle. I wouldn't fuck with it. I wouldn't fuck with it, man. No way. Not with my money. I ain't about to go up in here. You know she's charging an arm and a leg. And the first thing she goes, oh yeah, I interviewed Ray J and all this shit, man. Listen, man, fuck that. Fuck all that.
A nice, really healthy ecosystem.
Okay.
Of people who are counselors and coaches and who are not. I use them.
Does this like with the Cam situation, is in there like a follow-up conversation when like he wants to work through more stuff now off camera? Because I'm sure it triggered a lot for him as well too when those additional conversations had to happen.
Or did he block your number?
Or like is he? You know what I mean? Like what happens after that? We see it we see it on the internet and it goes crazy.
Yeah.
The baby mom's a girlfriend, all the fallout. There's been recent fallout too with him talking about her, Jazz, not being the only woman that he slept with in a relationship. And so there's things coming out now. Does he hit you up and say, hey, I want to do some more work, I want to have a conversation? Like, nah.
He has me to say yes, but he's definitely not like nah.
Okay.
But who I would love to have a conversation with, whether it's on camera or not just to more support her in whatever she's doing right now or feeling or going through is Jazz.
Yeah.
I would love to have a conversation with Jazz, even if it's a private session. I think that she needs tools on how to be in this relationship if she's going to stay. And if she chooses to leave, she needs tools on how to also pivot that. And it's not about having a conversation with her or having
this bunch of bullshit, man. Bunch of bullshit.
A session with her to get her to change her mind.
So you're going to have a messy, toxic clout chaser in your marital relationship business, in your shit. Got to be more careful.
It's about getting her to feel supported and showing compassion
and
trying to figure out where she wants to navigate from here.
And see, that's the thing, because I don't know if you saw months ago, or this may have been before she was pregnant. I think I saw this. She's happy with with everything that's going on, how she's okay with that. So if she understands and she is willing and she's like, okay, I'm all in, I'm abiding by every rule that you have, then what the hell are you going to talk to her about? You know what I'm saying? Like how can, because even as a woman watching that, right, I didn't know who she was with yet until it came out. And then I was like, oh, damn. Oh, right. All right. So that's how you feel about him. And that's my man's and that's my girl. But I'm just like, damn, how strong, the strongest back that I've ever, I give my head off to her for dealing with that whole dynamic. But what can you say to her that'll change how happy she is with this?
I think it's helping her come to herself. And I think that Jazz got herself into something that, one, she didn't understand that she was getting herself into, and I think she would to backpedal if she could. But where do you go from here? You have a child. A lot of women, especially Black women, stay because they don't want to be a product of a broken house.
Yeah,
and they don't want to be a single mom. Who wants to be a statistic? Who wants to be that? Right? And so for her, I understand why she would want to stay to make it work. But I also would understand why she wants to leave to do it right.
Yeah.
And it's not because he has kids. It's because this man is not honoring you.
Yeah.
He's disrespecting you. And he's not only doing it privately, he's doing it publicly.
She's triggered. Look at her, dog. She's a demon, man. Look at her. She's a demon, bro.
He's not even allowing it to be pillow talk. So it's like, and that's what I mean by the epitome of a high valued man in the most low functionality you can have. Like, you have no respect at all for this woman who you not only have a child with, but you are in a relationship with. You're waiting for God to give you more kids. You have a woman at home. You're sleeping with other women publicly on your platform for this woman to feel how. All you're doing is self-projecting your brokenness and your pain on this woman and all of these 8 kids and these 3 other women. You are procreating broken houses. And let me go further. He also has a broken home with her, because a broken house and a broken home are 2 different things.
Explain.
So you have both. A broken house is just a single family home. It could be one mama, one daddy, or for people who have partners, it could be one partner in the house. That means just there's one person. A broken home is you got a 2-party household. The home is so impaired it can't even function at a level of healthiness. Cam has both. And he knows that. And he's trying to figure out how he front, back, side pedals. But this is the deal, you know, and I said this to him jokingly, and I wasn't pun intended, but it was like I told him, I said, Cam, before we did it, I said, Cam, you about to throw picks this entire interview, just like you did when you was playing. I said, you took him to a Super Bowl, but you couldn't get the ring. And he just looked, and he said, no. But to backtrack real quick, Cam reached out to me.
I wouldn't pay you if you told me that before the interview.
Yeah, that's brutal.
I'm leaving. I'm like, why would you?
But did I catch the picks or not?
From what I saw, yeah.
Caught the picks, right? And so, but my point is, Cam reached out to me because ego. He seen me and Nick Cannon's interview, and he said Nick was too soft. Do my interview. It's not going to be that same smoke. And so I said, sign me up when I fly out tomorrow. He said, oh, okay, like that. I said, 100%, I'm ready. And so when it happened, I think Cam's edge was to throw me off. Yeah. And to see if he can challenge me in more.
No, he baked you because his relationships and everything, he did what he had to do, no matter if he wanted to be fidelity, infidelity, having this, that. You know, the amount of money that he makes and the amount of child support that he's going to possibly have to rake out, it all adds up to him having kids around when he's in his 60s and 70s and shit. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be alone. You're going to be alone. Only thing that's going to be keeping people to you is the amount of money that you have to offer them at that point in your life. Nobody's going to be there for you. You need kids. You need a fucking family. Sometimes you got to sacrifice being in the streets or all these goddamn careers and shit. Yeah, you got to get something to make some money. You got to be able to support yourself. That's a good thing to do. But when you reach higher and higher and higher and higher and higher, and all of a sudden you're 40-something years old, you have nothing to offer a man but some used box. Unless you're giving them some money. Like, what do I need you for? Like, okay, yeah, we're going to have this connection, but it's nothing like having a connection with somebody that you share a child with. I don't think there's nothing like that. Nothing like that. I don't know how much more I could do. This woman crazy. I don't know. I might have to do a part 2. This will give me an excuse to do a part 2, but I got to check some of these messages and shit, man. I tried, and I might try again. This is a good topic. Just for a different day, though. But anyway, we might have to go up a little later, talk about this Mike Tyson shit. Mike Tyson's gonna be up in this thing, doing this thing, so I might have to prepare for that. That might be a worthwhile stream, the after effect or whatever. But we'll get at it, man. We'll see you guys on the next one.